So
That's
it was a
dope.
real dope moment to see both of them come out of there unscathed and come out of there okay after doing that.
Uh,
Now, after we done covered all of that, man, now let's tap into some real boxing, right? Let's talk a little bit about arguably one of the top 5 pound for pound fighters who has dealt with a couple of events of adversity over the past couple of years. Everybody's heard about the horrific accident where he was ejected from his car, flipped over, had to rehab, get himself back together. And then everybody has heard about a unfortunate retina injury that absolutely had to devastate him in having him miss out on the Manny Pacquiao money.
my God.
But let's talk about Errol, the true Spence, and how it is now sounding like it is confirmed that the WBA has backed off of their round robin tournament that they were about to force Yordenis Ugas to get into. And it sounds like now they're going to give the okay for Ugas and Spence to go ahead and go at it in the spring. So now that they finally made that fight, it's going to be extremely interesting to see how that fight goes. But tell me, man, what do you expect to see from that fight now that all signs point to Errol Spence versus Ugas in the spring?
Man, I'm turned up by that fight, honestly, man. I really want to see that fight. If it was any fight outside of Bud Crawford, I want to see Ugas, especially after being in the building to see Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? To see my favorite fighter, Pacquiao,
right,
and Ugas, with Ugas being a fill-in fighter for Errol Spence after the injury. You know, and it was a similar situation like Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley. It was 2 weeks. You know, remember we was hooked and booked for everything,
right?
Tickets, flights, everything, hotel, and still went out there and checked.
Fight.
Oh man, it's crazy. And it was a great fight, you know. It definitely ain't what I came to see. You know what I'm saying? But it was an amazing fight. And I gotta put some respect on Ugas' name, even though Pacquiao got old in the ring, as far as his legs now, because his heart was there. But Ugas fought an amazing fight. Pacquiao landed some punches. Ugas got a chin. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing that's gonna make me, because I feel like he's durable. I'm very anxious to see, because he's a strong fighter, you know, and he has some pretty good intangibles. You know what I'm saying? He's a great counter puncher. You know, the strength, because I feel like he's the bigger than Errol Spence, and he's about as strong as Errol Spence. So it'll be interesting, because Spence is usually a bigger, stronger man. So I'll be at the edge of my seat seeing how that plays out, especially with Errol Spence coming off the retina injury. You know what I'm saying? Jumping right into this is a dangerous fight for Errol Spence. Straight up, this fight could definitely be, you know, just like he messed up the church money with the Pacquiao fight. You know what I'm saying? This fight can definitely be throw a monkey wrench in the Bud Crawford showdown, man. Seriously. You know, a lot of people might not give you guys that type of credibility, but I just feel like do not sleep on Ugas. Don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's gonna be an interesting fight, and I'm here for it. What you think, brother?
I think I agree with you wholeheartedly, man. I think this is a heck of a fight for Errol Spence to take on, especially after this retina injury. Now, what I'm a little bit worried about when it comes to Errol Spence Jr. is at a certain point, man, nobody's body can live up to so many tragic things happening to it. You still have a fighter who even talked about, you know, trying to still get himself back to 100% from getting thrown from a car and rolling over the ground. You know what I mean? So he still was trying to get himself back to 100% from that. And then now you couple that with suddenly you had to pull out of a fight due to a retina injury. And let's talk about how critical something like a retina injury is when we're talking about sparring and we're talking about fighting overall. I really have to see Errol Spence Jr. really be able to get into a ring and sustain a certain amount of real fighting, trading punches before I really trust him again. Because right now, just think about when's the last time that we really have heard of any fighter ending up having to pull out due to a retina injury. Like, we probably can't really think of anything in recent memory of that kind of delicate injury happening to a fighter. So who knows when the injury happened? Who knows how long maybe his eyes been bothering him? But I think he's got a lot to prove as far as how healthy he is again. And I think he'll have the opportunity to prove that with Yordenis Ugas. Now, where I am worried is Ugas showed in the Pacquiao fight that he definitely has a lot of boxing skill. A lot of people also forget that Ugas did look pretty decent against Sean Porter as well. A lot of people don't understand that Ugas versus Porter fight, it did not have Sean Porter looking too great. So it's at a point now where I know with Ugas getting the victory over Manny Pacquiao, he's gotten a little bit of notoriety. But I think this next fight against Errol Spence Jr. is a fight where Ugas has an opportunity to really take a step even further. Because right now, I feel like a lot of people are saying that that Pacquiao was washed up, Pacquiao was old, he was already on the way out, and Ugas got him right for the picking at the right time. So now he gets an opportunity to put all those doubters to bed by coming out with Errol Spence. And I'll be honest, man, I always say this about boxing. Sometimes when you're the B-side in certain fights, you don't even have to go in the fight and actually win in order to actually win.
No doubt.
If that makes sense. So
that makes a lot of sense.
Right. He can go into the ring and he can actually do pretty well, maybe even make it a dicey decision for Spence. And at the end of the day, everybody will walk out of that fight saying, wait a minute, we got a whole nother level of respect for Ugas, which can also help bolster his career. So I think it's a dicey fight for Errol Spence, man. I'm excited to see it, man, just like you are. Hopefully, if it's in the spring, maybe April, May, we could jet set to Las Vegas and be there to possibly take part in it.
No doubt.
But I gotta say, with that fight being made, right? With that fight being made, it now brings all eyes to Terence Bud Crawford, the other top 5 pound-for-pound welterweight in the game. And I know we'll get into it at some point in the future, but it's going to be interesting, man, to see exactly who Bud ends up fighting now as they look to kind of set up a fight with somebody now that Spence is occupied. And at least for the moment, it puts to bed the whole Errol Spence versus Terence Bud Crawford fight for now. But